Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we're live. What's up, nerds? Gozmaster here with another Magic the Gathering puzzle quest. Today's quest, Nerds on Parade! I am joined, as always, by my bestest buddy in the whole wide universe of internet space, Mr. Maynard T. Loop, also aka Main Loop. What's up, Maney? It's good to have you, dude. All right, so today I'm gonna lean which way I'm leaning. Today we're gonna be doing a Duskmourn chase card set. We actually go through. I have a chase list if you guys aren't aware of it inside of the Discord itself. Get in there and get in on the link. The link is in the description below. As always, join that, and then I have a link to our chase list. And this is not just me dictating what I think the chase cards are, although the first version of the list is. But then I go to the council, which is Maynard and the rest of the smarter people, much smarter than I on the game, inside of the server, and then we ask questions about what they feel chase cards are, and they make the list. And it's an evolving list, right? It adjusts to where we figure out like, oh, this card's much better than I thought it was, and this card's not as good as it was. So things will come off and go on that list. It's a living list. Uh-oh, get a bit of a delay. Hopefully you can hear me okay. So if you guys wind up seeing yourself some cards on there that should be on there that aren't, or that you see some cards that you don't think that are that great after you've played with them, definitely let us know inside the server so that we can adjust accordingly or ignore you completely. We don't have to listen to you. You're not our real mom. With that said, hey, how was your Halloween, dude? When you tell the fans while I'm doing a little bit of shenanigans here, what's going on with your life, my friend? Nice. Oh, love Korean food. uh, yeah, 100%. Yeah. Well, if you have candy lovers in the house, it's great. My wife loves candy, but everyone else, like, I'm not a big sweets guy. I never really enjoyed candy when I was growing up. I like a couple of here and there, but I'm not a big candy fan, man. Just to be honest with you, candy man, not a candy fan. Um, I love almond joy. I know that a lot of people aren't a big fan of almond joy, but I love almond joy. I like coconut and nuts. Don't read into that, people. Yeah, when I was a wee lad. I'll tell you a funny thing, and then we'll get into the content here, guys. I'm stalling a bit while I'm actually going and posting out all the rest of the video links here, and Maynard's helping me do that. Uh, when I was a young lad, my sister was actually in the Girl Scouts, so we would get the Girl Scout cookies, yeah. And so I did. I love Thin Mints. Boy, oh boy, that was a weakness of mine, right? And so what wound up happening, what's up, guys? If you guys are just joining here on the live one, chime in, feeds the algorithm, lets us know who's here, and we like to know that we're not just talking to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I wound up getting a whole box of Thin Mints, and I ate the entire thing. I ate the entire thing from top to bottom, and I wound up, in my case, finishing the entire box. I'm on that last one, and as soon as I put it in my mouth, dude, violently ill. I mean, cake. I was like Poltergeist and was it The Exorcist? All of that. It was brutal. And to this day, I get queasy when I smell mint. And so a lot of candies have mint in it, and I can't even smell it, dude. It makes me goofy. Makes me goofy. Oh, really? Pumpkin pie's on the borderline for me. I almost had an experience that was like that, but then I just muscled through it because I love me some pumpkin pie. That's one of my favorites. Yeah, absolutely. All right, I got two more spots to post, and then we are good to go, my friend. We are good to go. All right, with that said, let's go ahead and start off with the chase list here. I'm gonna go ahead and can you see my screen? Am I still sharing with you the things that are going on? All right, so we're gonna go through masterpieces and mythics, and we're just gonna say, hey, DSK, chase or not chase? What do you think? And like your reasons. So the Master of Keys, chase or not chase? What do you think? Ooh, fancy. More than phenomenons, investigators? Yeah, we'll get to that one in a second. All right, sorry, spoiling the lead, ruining the lead. So maybe top contender, maybe top two in the set. I literally just got this card and started playing with it, as you can see, based on the XP. I really like it, and I think if it's like I didn't optimize for it specifically, and I really wind up seeing a lot of potential with this card. We have a good chunk of stacking power, increasing power, exponential power increasers. I think the king of the heap still is Rambling. What's his name? Brawler. Railway Brawler. Yeah, I think he's tops as far as that instant growth function. But there are quite a few of them. Even just normally stacking them like Galta at 15-15, just getting 3 or 4 of her on board, and you've got a pretty much easy win con. So I think this falls in that category. I think it's a really good card. Is it chase worthy? I think it is a chase worthy card. And with the what's the other thing that it has there? It has the yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. He has a lot of. Mhm. Nice. Absolutely, and I think that's the state of the meta. And I don't think it's going backwards. I think the meta is where it is. That if you have cards or creatures that aren't doing multiple things, you're wasting card space. It's not even just a card can do one great thing. They have to do multiple things for the most part. Is my opinion. You kids can chime in. Speaking of kids, Chris says hello. Iron Head Brew says what's up, guys. Chris Jensen says I got diabetes. I can't do that stuff anymore. You cannot. It's terrible. It's terrible. But I'm gonna laugh anyways. Diabetes. If you hear that and you don't chuckle a little bit because of us growing up, you're probably not old enough to appreciate the humor there. What's up, says Roy. What's up, Roy? Can't hear Maine. Can't hear Maine loop. Maine is muted. Doggy, here we go again. Yeah, we're hearing him on our side. This is the same thing we ran into last time. So let me make sure I'm going into it and fixing what I need to on our side. Collab cam is good. Global settings. Oh, goodness. Do you have to? If you guys can hear him now, do me a quick favor and chime in and let us know you can hear him. He was talking about candy, and he was at a strip club. It was strictly for little people. He wound up talking his way in, was scrunching over, and a mom was there and saw him, thought he was so handsome, let him in. I mean, you guys hear us now. Come on, if that didn't make you guys chuckle a little bit, come on, man. You're all too serious. Let me go. Nope, still nothing. They still aren't hearing you, dude. They still aren't hearing you. Yeah. So maybe it's a settings issue on my side. We always go through this. Any better, guys? Yeah, the levels are going up and down, which doesn't make any sense. Let me look at properties here. Can't hear main. Nope, still not only. Oh. I think I know why. Um, how about now? Try talking now.
Hey guys, hear me now?
Can you hear yourself?
Um, It looks like it's going through on my end, but
Let me see.
maybe it's
Well, you and I have been hearing it this entire time. I think it's because we had the
right.
monitor and out, but I think it had a mute output.
Oh,
So I'm taking a picture of it now. Technical difficulty. I'm sorry, guys. I know we do this every freaking time. I'm newer. This is like the third one I've done like this with somebody else on. Actually,
yeah.
the second one. Now we can hear main. Yes, excellent.
Okay.
Start over. Here we go.
All right.
Okay, so again, quickly to recap, the Master of Keys. What are you thinking there? And somebody timestamp this for us so we can make sure that everybody's aware of it.
Yeah, like we were saying before, creatures that can do double or even triple duty are just very useful in the meta right now because 10 cards available to you, they need to do more than one thing. So this creature has two really relevant abilities. Destroying the top 5 cards of your library every time it enters the battlefield, you have the potential to really stack up your graveyard. But then there's also the doubling the power and toughness, which it hurts you in the beginning, but as you keep pulling more and more of these out of the graveyard into play, that little buff or the little debuff is negligible after a certain point. And then yeah, the creature attacking, returning the first enchantment card to your graveyard from your hand gains full mana. A lot of times you're just pulling another one of these, so you're stacking up and then destroying cards again. So it kind of is almost like a one card kind of drawn out loop, but it keeps recurring itself. So yeah, there's just so much you could do with this card. It's like I was saying before, it's maybe the top card, the top creature in the set for me. We'll get into what other ones might be contending
We'll
for that
go through
spot,
those here in
but
a second. All right, so then the next one that I have here is Redress Fate, and sadly, my friends, my colleagues, my companions, you can clearly see I do not own this card, yet I still list this as one of my chase cards. I'll start on this one. Return all
oh
enchantments and
yeah, it's
artifact
so
cards
good.
from your graveyard to the battlefield under your control. Overflow. Return all enchantments and artifact cards from your graveyard to the battlefield under your control. No, I won't be doing a full music video. You're on your own. 18 mana. It's white, so it's limited to Dakin. Dakin. Yeah, anything with overflow is just studly in my opinion. And this right here, I love Leyline of the Guild Pack. Absolutely one of my favorite cards that goes in because I get mana conversion without having to do anything but draw a card. Cool. I loop, I draw a card, I impact the board, I destroy stuff, I draw cards, or I get mana into hand. Chef's kiss. There's 4 or 5 cards now that have overflow in standard, 3 or 4, 4 or 5 now. And this is absolutely one of the ones that I want because I think there's a lot of stuff that can happen between this and using this even with white red with overflow. So Leyline of the Guild Pack, there's another red one. The green one's really good too, but we'll get to that here in a bit. I love this card. I absolutely think this is a chase card because it costs you nothing to do the same exact impact. Broken card in my
Exactly.
opinion. Broken in a good way, not necessarily broken bad. What are your
Right.
thoughts?
Yeah, it just pairs so well with the card we just looked at too. They just both feed off of each other so easily.
Yeah.
The only problem with this card is if you pull it too early in the game and it doesn't have anything to get out of your graveyard. But other than that, it's such a good card.
Yeah. Yeah. But that said, then it's still one of those things where you have and you can use to exile fodder. There's other things that you can do that are additionally for that. So I don't think it's a negative downplay all the way, but I definitely think that there is a lot of stuff that it can do for you, my man, that I think is not necessarily anywhere else. I'm trying to do 2 things at once. I'm terrible at it. All right, so chase card, we agree. Converts to slime. I'm gonna let you take this one.
I don't have this card yet. It reminds me a little bit of what's the name of that card? Casualties of War, where it can destroy a bunch of things. So I think it is a really good card. It gives green a really strong option for destroying a bunch of things at once. And then Delirium. I haven't even triggered Delirium once the whole time I've been playing Duskmourn. It's such a stupid mechanic.
I think Delirium is dumb. I think we all agree Delirium is dumb. However, I had a thought today, in fact, where I was looking at cards. I'm like, Delirium sucks. It's one of those mechanics where nobody really wants to play with it, right? But how can we make it work? I'm finding myself, I don't know if they've adjusted, again, conspiracy theory time. Everyone put your 10 hats on. I don't know that they didn't adjust drop rates for certain colored gems. I'm seeing less blue and black and red, frankly, less black and red more than anything else in my gameplay. I don't know if that's just me being triggered because I'm finding a hard time to get those, or if that's something that's real, right? Am I seeing things? That said, a card like Leyline of the Guild Pack would make Overflow or Delirium good in counterplay, i.e. if I look across the board and I see a certain type of color card or walker that's red, great, then I'm going to go use Leyline of the Guild Pack and then anything that would be triggered with red Delirium, if that makes sense.
Right. That's the main problem with Delirium, though. They always put the Delirium of the colors that the card is or the
Right,
Planeswalker.
right.
It
So
would work. Maybe it would work all right if if this card was like Delirium red or white, then just fill the board with black and green gems or
right,
whatever. Then
right.
you could trigger it, but they never do it that way.
Nope. It's pain, and as a result, not as good. And for that fact, I don't think it's a chase card, but destroy random opposing creature card. So here's the other thing with this though. Destroy random opposing creature. Ignore everything from Delirium on. Destroy a random
Hmm.
opposing creature. Destroy an opposing non-token enchantment at random. Destroy an opposing non-token artifact at random. So you get a chance at destroying 3 potential things if they have some stuff on the board. We know
Right,
that Aegis is it's an artifact, so you
and it's an
should get
artifact.
that.
Yeah. Hmm.
What's the other one that's really Kidnap is an aura enchantment, isn't it?
Enchantment, right? I
All
think
right, so
so.
this gets that. What's the other really annoying one? It's but they're non-token, right? They're all
Yeah.
non-token. So if it's
Right.
against Liliana, Valiana doesn't do you any
Yeah.
good, right? Doesn't remove her support. So green and
All
black
right.
need some
Non-token.
mass removal right now for supports. Red, you've
Mm.
got Wizard or what is it? Chaos Warp. White has Requisition Raid.
Hmm.
But there's not really anything. Blue has something too. Blue has something where
Green
it
has
blocks support.
Season of Weaving now, but it hurts you too.
Right?
So I don't use it much.
I don't like double-sided blades. I want
Yeah,
my blade to cut one way. So
exactly. No, I'm the same way.
I think this has some potential, but we will see. Right now, I don't have it. I haven't played with it, so I couldn't tell you one way or the other. But my
Yeah.
initial impression is it's not Chase, but we do need something in that role to fix things. Experimental Lab, what do you got?
This one's okay. I like the unlocks side. It basically gives any creature like kind of the Gar Curse Huntsman sort of
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's this card is actually decent. It's definitely not a chase card, but if you get it and you put it like on double strikers or anything that can block,
Mm-hmm.
you get the +4/+4 from that too. So it's
Yeah.
better than I thought, but definitely not a chase card.
Yeah, yeah. Same. I'm of the same opinion. I think that it is. Uh, a, I think it's one of those cards where it's a newer collector. You're gonna love it,
Hmm.
right? Somebody who's got a limited
Right.
collection is gonna be an ace card in your hole.
For sure.
Mm. But it was an ace hole. But the other side of that is that you also wind up growing from this, so it becomes not good enough. Like at the caliber, when you have a bigger collection, it becomes one of those cards that it's good, but it in and of itself isn't necessary if you're playing with cards like Galta, even at rare level. And I guess that's my biggest problem with this card is that at the masterpiece level, it doesn't
Hmm.
represent masterpiece power, in my opinion. I
Hmm.
think it's a good, really excellent rare or even a really good mythic, but a masterpiece. I would like to see a shift in game design's focus that a masterpiece is actually a masterpiece, that it's game
Right.
changing, it's functional, it has no downsides, um, and it's still balanced. I understand there's a need for balance, but to make it the equivalent of like I've seen some uncommon cards that are stronger or as almost as good,
Hmm.
that's that's not it. That's a not it for me. So, anyways,
Right.
not a chase card as of yet, but a fun card, a good card. If you pull it and you're a newer collector, not a bad thing. Secret Arcade. Welcome to my Secret Arcade. 15 mana, support card enchantment room. When you cast a non-spell card or reinforce a non-token creature you control, it gains the enchantment subtype. So I'm assuming, because I haven't played with this at all, that when the
Mm.
creature gets the enchantment subtype, then that triggers the Eerie effects. Is that correct?
Um, I mostly play this for that part. So I've never really tried the unlocked Eerie thing. I don't think. Maybe I have. But I use this is kind of a little bit of a combo piece for me.
Okay.
I play it with Sarah's Sanctum.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've played that card much since we've gotten this new
I have
set.
trying to master it and I hate it. So
Oh, really?
you share me
Uh,
what I need to know about it because boy, I don't like it.
oh, okay. Um, Yeah, so this just basically makes everything into an enchantment after
Mm-hmm.
you've put it on the board. So if you're using things like I just recently pulled Metastatic Evangel, and
Mm-hmm.
that thing just reinforces every time you put a creature down.
Mm-hmm.
So if you make that Evangel an enchantment, you're just going to be making stacks of enchantments for yourself for Sarah's Sanctum to feed off of.
Got
So
it.
that's been the main thing I've used this card for. It's just kind of an extra piece to really make Sarah Sanctum go.
Okay.
So it's very niche. I wouldn't say it's a chase card, but you can find use for it if you end up with it.
Okay. Oh, actually, I know one last place I want to do this. Scoozy. Let's go to the content creator group,
Oh
and
yeah.
then we'll go to the next one. I don't have any opinion about it. I haven't played with it. I don't. At my first impression, I don't think it looks like a chase card, but I could definitely see how it would have some niche effects if we were to focus on that. There it is. Okay. All right, so next one. They came from the pipes. I'll do this one. They came from the pipes. 13 mana, blue for shield. When the support enters the board, Manifest Dread, then Manifest Dread. Manifest Dread has potential. I'm going to say that. I haven't quite figured out a way to break it just yet, but I think there's some fun stuff with it. There's an uncommon card that I think is fantastic with Manifest Dread, and it's because of Manifest Dread that it's great.
Hmm.
When a
Okay.
fright creature card enters the battlefield, draw a card. That's the Manifest Dread. Creatures are all frights. It gains 10 mana. So draw a card, it gains 10 mana. So the card you draw gains 10 mana. I would love in a masterpiece that it just gives you 10 mana. Just give me 10
It's
mana.
true.
Don't make it to that card. Too limiting. Blah, blah, blah. When a fright creature card attacks, that card gains prevent damage until the beginning of your next turn. Not a chase card.
Hmm.
I like that it's a creature. I like that it's a support and not a creature. That it impacts
Yeah.
creature stuff. And it was
Hmm.
almost there. If it was just gain the 10 mana, I'm in. It's a chase card because then I can do
For
stuff
sure.
with it. But as it
Yeah.
is, it's super limited, and that card gains the mana, and it's not it. It's not it for me. What are your thoughts?
It has potential. I think I could do stuff with, even with the way it works right now, I could definitely do stuff with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thinking like maybe pairing it with Satoru or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you're at
Mm-hmm.
least getting 4 mana on the front side of your hand and then gaining 10 more mana from there. So I
Yeah.
think there's something you could do with this if you can actually manifest dread multiple times a turn, like easily.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really tried that or played with it. I honestly have kind of ignored Manifest Dread for the most part, so
Yeah.
I
I'm
can't
going to show you
really
a card
tell
that you
you.
should be using in events. In events, if you haven't
Okay,
already. It's good. It's
I'm
real.
all ears.
It's
But
real
yeah,
good.
this one's kind of a T to be decided for me.
Okay.
I can't
I
tell you
would
if
also
it's a
say
chase or
that
not.
the other thing with this too is that this might have some playability with Vance because she gains
Oh,
benefit from supports. Because remember, this support enters the board, then you manifest dread, then you manifest dread again, right? So
okay,
Vance, Satoru, and then this, you're gaining because then she gains mana to the first card. That's so one thing that limits Vance and keeps her from being just an absolute busted chase card. She is a chase card for me. I have a build for her. I just think it's fantastic.
right.
It's almost all mythics and masterpieces. But it works and it crushes and it does really well. This could earn a spot in it if it was just gains 10 mana.
Hmm.
Just gains 10 mana.
Oh,
It
for
would
sure.
it would no
Yeah,
brainer go in and it
no
would be a great
question.
card.
Yeah.
As it is, not a chase card.
Mm.
I'll let you Volgavoth's Horror of Souls. We're only going to do these with these ones, and then we're going to look and just call out just quickly on
Okay.
the mythics. And but these
Yeah,
ones I want to
sounds
go
good.
single. Go ahead.
This one I got pretty early. Ward, drain 9 mana from hand. When your opponent loses life or is dealt damage, this creature gets +1/+1. Then your black mana bonus is increased by 1 for 2 turns. This effect can trigger up to 4 times per turn. This card I early on paired it with Liliana, the new
Mm-hmm.
one, because of the whole black mana bonus. I think that's probably what the idea for this card
Mm-hmm.
was when they made it up. So I used it for a little bit, but then I got kind of tired of it. It didn't do enough for me. The black mana bonus increase is nice, of course, but if you're building for that Liliana, you're going to do that anyway without having to rely on this creature.
Yeah.
So it just didn't really do enough for me to justify putting it in my decks.
Honestly, man, I feel we'll talk about Lil X too if we have time, but I think Lil X
Okay.
has I think she has some advantage mana gain wise that you really just don't need to pump her up. It's
Mm,
nice when you need to, and if you get late game, it's functional, but it doesn't
hmm.
help you win. It only helps you reset the board, and that's fine.
Sure.
That's good enough for me in most cases, especially with the
Yeah,
power level of cards right now. That's good enough for me. This is not a
for
chase
sure.
card for everything you said, and then on top of that, I obviously don't have it. It's not in my collection yet. But that
Oh, okay.
said, it's not one I'm even like if this were the last couple of cards I needed from Duskmourn set, I wouldn't use my non-dupe pack on this to get it.
Mm.
if that makes sense. I would wait
Yeah.
I would frankly because it's a masterpiece and I don't have VIP 6, so I can't craft it. But I wouldn't go out of my way to use my non-dupe resources to get it. If that
Right.
makes sense.
By the
All right.
way, you probably don't see this on your side of the screen, but on my side, the top, like I can only see the card itself, so I can't see if you own it or if it's mastered or anything like
Oh,
that. So
really?
just
Interesting.
yeah.
I wonder
So
if
just
that's
letting you know,
weird.
it's just the way that Streamlabs is set up that it cuts
Oh,
off
okay.
the
Gotcha,
top
gotcha.
part.
You guys can see the full screen, correct, of my phone? This is my phone. So let me know in the chat there that you guys are doing that chat bait. All right. So actually, a couple of comments here. It's great creatures with enchantments too. What were you talking about, Gaz? Encroaching mycosynth shenanigans. Sorry, Roy, I missed what you were talking about. What are the best Eerie effects in Discord so far, or in Duskmourn rather? Duskmourn. Forgot where we were right now.
Well, we'll get
Uh,
to one of them in a
yeah, we'll get to
sec
one of
here.
them here in a second, but it's already been mentioned. Ambiguity is kind of a
Hmm.
no-brainer for
Hmm.
Eerie effects because that
Right, right.
triggers the bringing of those
Exactly.
in. So it's brutal. Like, Ambiguity is a stupid broken good card. Like the all of the anyways, moving on. Fear of sleep paralysis. So you ask, and we're going to feature this card right here. 12 mana, flying, Eerie, 6/6, blue. It's a blue enchantment creature, nightmare rather. Eerie, target opposing creature gains stun counter 3. So if you guys don't know what
Hmm.
Eerie is, when an aura card or an enchantment creature or enchantment support card enters into play under your control, okay, so it's not having to cast, it just enters into play, which ambiguity tokens are.
Hmm.
You activate an unblock, or if you unlock an ability, if you activate an unlock ability, your cards with Eerie perform their associated Eerie effects. Okay, so two big things about this card for me. There's no limit.
Hmm.
You can do it as many times as you like.
Hmm.
But that's misleading because, well, that's not true. If they have a creature, right, even one, I can retarget that creature every single stinking time. But around the
Hmm.
40th time, I don't have this card,
Yeah.
so I don't know. But around the
Oh,
40th
okay.
time, I'm going to be very sick of it.
Yeah.
Sick of having to touch my phone. I hate having to
Uh-huh.
do that multiple times. I would rather it just the creature with the I would rather it automatically targets. I know some folks love the ability to just double down on creatures and touch your phone that much. I really don't like doing that. There is no doubt this is a chase card in my opinion for folks that are control players. This is kind of your staple creature, and it's
Right,
big
for
enough that
sure.
if you're reinforcing it, you can swing for significant damage, and you're not going to be
Hmm.
playing 40 turns to win. You're going to be playing 10 to 15 turns, and you've got GG, if not quicker than that. So I think it's a chase card. What are your opinions on that?
So I do have this card. I was so excited when I got it. I was just like, oh my God, I'm just gonna stun everything. Um, in practice, though, it's not nearly as good as I thought it was
Yeah.
gonna be because Eerie is actually not that easy of a thing to trigger a lot. You have to kind of build a lot for it. And so obviously, first thing I did was, put it into my PMA blue decks that have make a bunch of time bubbles.
Right.
The thing about that is, um, what do you call it? Ambiguity is so good that you're gonna be like decimating the
Right.
creatures you
Right.
stun counter anyway. So
Right.
it's a little bit redundant. So this card you really want to play in the early game, but the problem is a lot of times in the early game you don't have a way to trigger Eerie most of the time. So um, a lot of times you're waiting for things to be able to hit the board so that this you can actually start doing things with this card. So it's not nearly as reliable as I want it to be. Like you said, you can easily overdo it. By the time you're at stun counter 20 on all the creatures, you're just sitting there either hitting not now or hitting one of the creatures. So it's a
Yeah.
bit annoying to play with. I know a lot of people that they don't care about that, but for people like you and me, definitely is relevant. Um,
No.
yeah, so
You've sold me.
it
I don't think it's a chase card anymore.
yeah,
I think
it's a
for a newer
good
collector,
card.
it's
I'm not gonna
good,
say it's
but
not
it's
a
not
chase card.
chase.
It's just not my play style at all, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, even then, stun counter. Look, let's be honest for a second. What are we're being cute here. We're stunning a creature versus just removing it. Right now,
Right.
go back to disable, like sleep
Sleep
with the
with the
fishes.
fishes or something like
Sleep
that.
with the
Yeah.
fishes. That's an effect. That's a permanent I don't need to look at you anymore. You're done.
Right.
Right? You're done.
Exactly.
This does that, but the big problem I have with the stun counter is that doesn't stop it now. It doesn't disable it till end of turn. If they
Right.
if
True.
they made stun disable till end of turn and then beginning turn stun blah blah blah. If they just did that, I'd like stun counters. But because I'm still usually attacking into my opponent and they have Phyrexian Vindicator or they have whatever with reach or vigilance and bulletproof because of Pajani's token, whatever it is, right?
Right.
There's something on that side that I'm rushing into that stunning it next at the beginning of the next turn is not an option. I got to deal with that threat now.
Yeah.
This isn't the solution for that. So you're right. It's not a chase card. I agree with you. Moving on. Formless Genesis is yours, brah.
This is not a card I own yet. Create a Formless Garganta token. What does that do?
Formless
I don't even
Gargantuan
remember.
token is a green changeling
Creature
1/1
changeling.
token. Trample. When this creature enters the
trample.
battlefield, this
Okay.
creature gets +X/+X. X is 4 times the number of land cards you control, including their reinforcements.
Okay. I have a few decks that this could fit into.
Yeah.
Problem is it's a creature though, so it's taking up a creature slot. So
well, the token this is a spell card to fetch the token, right, or create the token, and it's got
create the token.
It's got buried, so you can go cast it again, my friend. So you can get 2 of those tokens.
Okay. This has potential. I've been using a deck that has a lot of it's Omen Path Journey with 6 and Sunken Citadel. It's kind of like the engine to make everything go in that. I could see it working in there. This is like a niche card. I don't know. I'll have to see if I get it. Exactly how good that token is.
Send me your build
practice.
and I'll go test it out with this and see if it fits. Again, I think it's a little
All right,
cute.
I could do that.
My kind of thing. If the win con is that creature and that creature can get big enough, why not Railway Brawler, right? And why not lean into Galta? Why not like are these going to be bigger than those? And if the answer is no, if I'm trying to run like a casting no creatures kind of deck, maybe that has some function in it. I could see this being functional in Legacy, right? Because of the recursion in that way. Okay, fine. But as a card on itself, not a chase card.
But in Legacy, I'm not stacking up a bunch of lands either, though.
Right. You're just running Omni. I don't want to. No. Don't.
Right. That or even just like Tameo loops. Yeah.
And
those don't have lands in them, so
no.
Or at least the ones I use.
Anything that requires. So that's the other thing too, is that this is a cool little weenie 1/1, and then you got to do all this other stuff to make it good. It's the same thing Kaido's token has a problem with. That token's worthless. I don't care how cheap you make it. It's a worthless token. All right, the Lord of Pain. Lord of Pain. That's a good metal song. Welcome to the Lords of Pain. 12 mana, legendary menace, haste. I like the hasties. 5/5 black red. Human assassin. Players can't gain life. Period. Okay. Why not just my opponent? Right. Why me? I like gaining life.
That's the main drawback for this card for me.
I'm immediately not wanting to play with this card from that point forward because everything else I have built-in life gain for. Why would I not want to gain life? When your opponent casts a card, deal X damage to your opponent's planeswalker and destroy 5 random gems. X is this card's base mana cost. This effect can trigger only once per turn. No, we're not. You're not even going to get a say on this card, my friend, because of that last line. This effect can trigger only once per. You go to hell.
Right.
You go to hell and die. That's an uncommon card. That's
an
uncommon power card. Moving on. You get to do this one.
Phenomenon Investigators.
But that's the
Human
phenomenon
detective. Part. When this creature enters the battlefield, choose one. Option A, create a Poltergeist token, then reinforce it X times. X is the number of black and blue gems on the board divided by 3 rounded down. Option B is what we're talking about here. Draw a card, it gains full mana.
Draw a card, it gains full mana. There is, I don't know why they even give you an option A. It could be, you win $1 million. No, just option B. I just want a card with full mana because that's better. Maybe $1 million, we'll see. But that's it. Someone's asking a really excellent question. I'm going to defer to the wisdom, the genius, the brilliance that is main loop. What is the difference between changeling and shapeshifter?
Oh God. Yes, the wrong
Where's
person.
Zipvert when you need it?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
need my Zipvert here.
I don't know. I can't remember. I don't
Hey
really
Eric,
play
that's a
with either
great
of those.
question, man. Go into the Discord server and ask that, and I'll make sure Zipvert's tagged in that so he can actually go in and give you the answer because he's played
Yeah,
with it.
exactly.
There's a section I just added actually this week, which is rules and mechanics explained. So if you go put that in
Okay.
there, it's a great
Nice.
section
Yeah,
for that.
perfect.
All right, great. Sorry, man. And then Realmbreaker and Lord Windgrace card. Yeah, absolutely. For the previous card we're looking at. I'm sorry,
Oh,
I
okay.
cut you off. Phenomena Investigators Chase for 11 mana, 3/4 dual color.
Yeah, it's basically bring to light as a creature is
Yeah,
basically how I think about it.
exactly,
Um,
exactly. And I
it's
love that
better
card.
when
That's
you
a
like
legacy
surveil
impacting card.
first so you know what you're getting. But
Right.
either way, like it's such a good like for you and I, this is so up our alley, our type
Yeah.
of card because we're drawing, looping stuff. This is just all helping it move everything along. So
And you can see how very little
yeah.
I've played with this. I threw it in, I think, a mastering deck just to go
Oh
get
really?
quick
Oh wow.
experience. And I
Yeah, I
played
can
with it. I'm
see that
like,
a little
oh,
bit.
this is great. And I have not played with it since. And that the reason is there's like good cards I get that I know I'm gonna love. I wait. I play all with the other cards and I figure out all the other nuances and mechanics and stuff. And then I come back to this one and I'm like, oh, this is my dessert. Like I know I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
love this, so let me just go build for this and just it's great. And that way it feels really good. I get all the junk play out of the way up front to figure out what I don't like, and then this is my
Interesting.
dessert. So I think it's absolutely a chase card. Anything full mana is pretty much gonna get an automatic pass for chase for me. That's the way I roll,
For
kids.
sure.
That's the way I roll. Suspended sentence. Why am I looking up at this man's crotch? Why? I don't understand this. 10 mana for support with flash because you need a support with flash that has level automatically gets a negative for me. I'm going to play the Steve roll here. 5 shield support card. When this support enters the board, destroy target opposing creature. Target, destroy. Then your opponent loses 5 loyalty. At the end of your turn, increase this card's level by 1. Then if this card's level is 4 or more, you may return this card to your hand. If you do, it gains full mana.
Do you have
I
this
re-
card?
I really like this. No, I don't have this card yet. Do
Okay.
you have this? Have you played with
Yeah,
it?
I just got it earlier this week. It's pretty good. I like
Yeah.
it for a lot of different things. It's a support, so you could bring it back from the grave with like my favorite
Archpriest.
creature, Archpriest.
Archpriest is my favorite. Archpriest is absolutely my favorite. I'll show you guys a build here before we're done.
Yeah, for sure. I have it in so many decks right now, especially with all the graveyard stuff we get in this set. But
Right.
yeah, the target opposing creature kind of wish it was untargeted, but it's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Um, the opponent losing 5 loyalty. I always forget about that part. That's actually a very unique ability,
Hmm.
which is cool to have. I don't know if 5 loyalty is enough to make a huge difference a lot of time. Um,
Not really.
but it is nice. The little level part, when you get a surprise like full mana suspended sentence back into your hand, you're like, oh, that's sweet. I
If
like
you have
that,
room.
actually.
If you don't have
If you
room, it
have
kind of
room,
gets
sure.
destroyed, right?
Actually, I don't know. I should look into
Mm.
that.
Yeah,
I
I
need
bet that's
to
what it
pay
does.
attention.
So it's black, so it goes well in Archpriest. My only concern is black has all the removal. Like
I
everything
know.
black
Yeah.
does is removal. And it's I would have liked to have seen this being been a green as well as black.
Something,
This is a
some
WotC
other.
thing.
Yeah.
This is not a Webcore thing. This is a WotC
Yeah.
thing. Any other color with this, black has so much removal. Now, what I can speak to Webcore about is the card. They don't bring. They don't. You guys are gonna have to correct me if I'm wrong. They don't bring all the cards in, do they? From the set, like especially
Right.
duplicate
No,
cards,
they
they don't
don't.
bring in. So why choose this card over another card that could have additional effects? So that I do put on Webcore. You got to be more diligent. You got to be better about the way you bring it in removal here, guys, because we got plenty of black removal. Uh, that said, I still think it's a great card. Is it a chase card? I don't know. I don't have it yet. This is one of those ones that possible I have to play with for a bit
Hmm.
and see what builds it synergizes with. I read it the first couple times, not impressed. Reading it this third time, I kind of like it. It kind of looks fun. I think this might be a good card. It's a good card based on what I'm hearing and seeing from you. As a
Yeah.
chase card, I think it might be
Would
a
I spend a bunch of jewels trying to get it though? Probably
yeah.
not.
Well, it's a masterpiece. That's the only way you're going to get it, or a non-dupe it,
Right.
right?
Exactly. That's the thing.
Yeah.
If it was
Unless,
lower rarity, yeah, absolutely.
yeah, for sure. I see that. All right, Demonic Covenant. That's
This
you.
is one I don't have either.
I just got this one. I'll go through it. I haven't played with it yet. 8 mana, black, enchantment demon. When a demon creature you control attacks, you draw a card and lose 3 life. It gains 10 mana.
Okay.
That it gains 10. That's where you
Oh,
lose me.
the
Immediately derailed.
card you draw.
Now,
Yeah.
mill 30, destroy this card at the end of your turn, create a demon token. Why the end of my turn? It's a masterpiece. Give me it now and give it haste. Let it do its thing. It's only a 4/4, right? It's a 5/5 token with flying. It has no special powers. It's just a
Right.
5/5 flying token. Let me haste. Because the odds are I probably already have 2 or 3 other creatures that I have to replace with it, right? So
Right.
why? Why? Then destroy the top 4 cards of your opponent's library. Yeah, I don't think this is Chase. I think it's clunky and dirty and too confusing and
Yeah,
too.
it's fine. It's not the worst card, but it's probably not going to make the cut in most of my decks.
No, it's too slow. Mill 30? We've won the game. We're winning the game. And I'm waiting that long for a 5/5 weenie token? Come on, man. When demon
Oh
creatures
no,
you
I
control
don't think
attack
it. I
card.
don't think that's how it works though. I think you're creating a demon token every turn, and then this gets destroyed when you get to mill 30.
No, then mill 30. Destroy this card. At the end of your turn, create. So you only get the demon after you destroy it.
I don't think so.
Mill
You'll
30.
have to test that to let me
Mill
know.
30. Destroy this card.
Yeah, but I
Comma.
don't think that's not a
Period. No,
comma.
that's
That's a
period.
period.
Then mill 30, destroy this card. So when a demon creature you control attacks, you draw a card and
Yeah,
lose 3 life. It gains 10 mana. That's its
right,
effect. But
right.
then if you
But I
have mill
think
30,
the
if you have 30 cards in
the
your
last
yard,
part of it is also the effect.
ability effective as long as there are X or more cards in your opponent's grave. Oh, so in your opponent's yard they have 30 cards, right?
Right.
Then you destroy this card at the end of your turn, create a demon token. So that's why they have you do it at the end of the turn. So your demons can still attack. You get the card draw. They get the 10 mana, right? So you get 3.
Right.
It's attack too. It's not damage, right? So if you double
Um.
damage, then you could double damage. Then
Oh
you could draw
yeah.
6 cards and get 10 mana.
Okay, you could double strike and maybe get a bunch of
But that's not it.
yeah.
It's when your creature attacks.
Yeah.
So
So
it's
yeah,
no matter if it's
it's
double strike or not, you still only get the one.
oh
Anyways,
oh you're right. Never mind. Yeah, not combat damage. Yeah.
so I'm poo-pooing all of this stuff because I don't like that. Then destroy the top 4
Yeah.
cards of your opponent's library, and that's only if you just yeah no that's not a good card. That's too clever. I really like this card. Pyroclasm, 8 mana, red card, deal 20 damage to each creature. I really wish it would only do it to your opponent's creatures, but I just think
I
there's
know
some
for
fun
eight
stuff in
mana,
here.
that's insane.
For 8 mana is insane. I would love for it to do something to the opponent. It's a masterpiece, but this is very close to what Pyroclasm is in paper. All creatures take 2
Oh,
points of damage or whatever for like 6 mana, or not even for like 3 mana, 2 mana, something ridiculous. Pyroclasm in paper is legendary. It's a great card. This is as close to that as I think you can get in Puzzle Quest, and it's very
mm,
similar, and it's
okay.
adjusted to impact and to have Puzzle Quest impact. At 20
Yeah,
damage,
which is
you're
good.
killing just about anything, right? Even
Most
Gauntlet
things
and
you're
stuff.
getting rid of. Yeah.
Yeah, or at least significantly participating in it. And then if you're running a
Hmm.
creatureless deck, you don't care, just run it. And
Right.
it should cast I don't have it, so I don't know. It should
Yeah.
cast without a creature on
Yeah,
board.
I do have this. I haven't even played it yet.
Yeah, I would. The big thing I would want to know is does it stick in hand if there are no creatures on board? That will make or break this
Okay.
card for me. Because if it
It
does,
should, but yeah, I could test that later. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I would see. As it is, even if it does, it's still not a chase card. I just think it's a cool card. Your thoughts?
Hmm. I would agree.
I would agree too. Final one, Seance board. FYI, total aside, I don't care how you guys feel about Marvel, MCU, and the newest, Disney wokeness, whatever. Agatha all along is phenomenal.
Oh, is
Like,
it? I've heard
I
good
am in
things.
love with this show. It is so
Oh,
nuanced. There is so
interesting.
much great storytelling in it. I adore it. And if you
Oh.
don't like it, I don't want to hear about it. I think it's fantastic. I'm a storyteller. I write stories. I like narrative. There's so
Yeah.
many great little things inside of this thing that are so good, and they're not just like tongue in cheek. Anyways, they're great. It's great.
Sure.
You should watch it. Seance board, but I say that because there's a seance board in there. 7 mana,
Oh.
colorless, 3 shield, level, support card, artifacty. At the beginning of your turn, gain X mana. X is this card's level. Morbid, at the end of combat on your turn, increase this card's level by 1.
Oh. So something has to die for it to increase the level?
Yeah,
That's annoying.
and you get 1 at the end
And
of the
one
turn.
per turn? Oh my god, this is not a masterpiece. This should not this should be a
No,
rare at best.
no. It is not. It's not defang bad, but it's pretty slow and bad for a masterpiece. Really, really
Oh
bad.
yeah.
I
Awful.
digress. All right, there you go, guys. Those are our mythic or masterpiece chase cards. We're just going to go through quickly on the mythics now because there's a lot more of them, and we're just going to say yay or nay. All right.
Okay.
Valgavoth, Terror Eater, yay or nay. This is an exclusive card, FYI. Is this a chase card in your
Oh, is
opinion?
it?
Yeah. That's a
It's
no. You haven't
fine.
played with it. The answer is no. Overlord of the. It's a no for me.
I mean, I have
Overlord of the
played it,
Boiler
but it's just too
Bulges.
expensive.
It's too expensive. It doesn't do enough stuff. When an
Yeah.
opposing creature dies, move that card to your exile. At the beginning of your turn, you may
The
return the first
losing
card from
X
your exile.
life. If Angel Suffering was still around, I would use it, but it's not, so
Well, it
I
also
don't.
has lifelink, so it actually
I know, but
counterbalances
it's
its
not
removal
enough
by that.
usually.
I haven't seen it, but it's just too slow. It's
Yeah.
too cute. It's too clever. It's one of those things where
Hmm.
oh you do this and then you do that. It's like I don't have time for that in this meta right now. I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Right? It's got to be faster than
Right.
that, and it doesn't do it. It's too slow. Overlord of the Boiler Bilges. I'll read through these quickly. 20 mana. I forget what this ability is. Impending. I don't even know what impending does. When this card enters your hand or in the
Oh
beginning of
yeah.
your
It's
turn
the
and
whole
this
thing
card
where
is
it
in your hand
debuffs.
and its impending value is higher than 0 reduced. Oh, that's right. It has cost reduction, so it's
It's
16 when
like
you
the
first get it.
Master of Keys thing.
Yeah, yeah. I
That's what
forgot
I
about
refer
that.
to that.
Yeah, that's what I
Because that's the
forgot.
only card I use with impending.
Yeah.
Actually, no, that's not
I don't even know
true.
if
So we'll
impending's. I
get into
forgot that impending's a mechanic. I haven't even reviewed it
it.
yet. Five
Oh,
five enchantment avatar horror. When this creature enters the battlefield or attacks, deal 4 damage to each opposing creature and your opponent's planeswalker. Meh. That's fine. It's more rare level to power than me than a mythic, but not
yeah.
chase worthy. Your
I
thoughts?
played against it and it was kind of annoying, but it's not a chase card for
That
me.
art is
That's
dope
cool
though.
art
You can
though.
pick it up for full art. Look at that art. That art is
That
sick.
art is cool though.
Overlord of the Mistmoors, 20 mana exclusive card. 5/5 enchantment avatar horror. When this creature enters the battlefield or attacks, create 4 white spirit tokens. I think that's significant. I think there are better token creators, but if you don't have
Hmm.
that token creator, Elspeth, the Vanguard Elspeth, which is just human tokens galore, based on loyalty, I think this is a good secondary one. It's an alternate to it. So chase worthy,
I,
no. Good card. I think it has
I
plenty
love
of
this
uses.
card. I use it a
Yeah,
lot. It's
yeah.
an easy chase too if you've been keeping up with BFTA because I'm pretty sure it's an exclusive there.
Oh, nice. Okay, great. Yeah, go get it and play it.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think, guys. Agatha
Yeah,
is
this
good.
one's
Roy gets
great
it.
because yeah, it creates so many tokens, especially if you're using it with Redress Fate and a bunch of other things, because this is going to bring back a bunch of, because it's an enchantment creature, so
Hmm.
it's going to bring a bunch of them down. So really good for any sort of token like creature summon objectives and all that.
Hmm.
And yeah, it just pairs
Yeah,
really well with Master Keys and Redress Fate.
nice. Well, there you go. Well, Redress Fate. I don't have it, so there you go. Grievous Wound, 18 mana, black, support card, enchantment aura. When your opponent gains life, your opponent loses X life. X is equal to the amount of that player's gained times 2. That player can't gain life. Players in general can't gain life until end of turn. That's where you lose me. This would be a great card if you didn't have that back end where, oh, now nobody can gain life until the end of turn. Let me have some fun. Let me shenanigan. Let me give them life. Because then it becomes, oh, let me gain you life. Let me give you life. Let me help you gain
Mm,
life. And then you die.
right.
But this, you can't do that. You only get to do it once, and that's it. And that makes it not a chase card, in my opinion. Thoughts?
Yeah, the way it works right now is too conditional. You have to like kind of build in that your opponent's going to gain life, but it just doesn't do enough. Maybe against Pajami, that's about it. But I don't know. There's other better ways to deal with them.
Yeah, yeah, it would be a good counter card against Pajani. There's a creature card I think is better than this, but we'll get into that in
Right.
a minute. There's the
I
alt
would
art, which
agree.
I think is pretty weak. uh,
Yeah, not huge on it.
Support or Vanguard, Grist the Plague Swarm.
Grist
We'll
Vanguard.
we'll we'll talk about these on a separate one. Let's just stick with the main card.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Marina Vendril, 18 mana, 5 color. First 5 color creature we have in standard for a while. 3/5 human warlock. When this creature enters the battlefield, fetch the first enchantment card from your library. Activate 2. If you control a room card, your creature gets +X +X. X is the number of support cards you control, including the reinforcements. Then a random room support you control gains the unlocked emblem. So let's break this down. When this creature enters the battlefield, fetch the first enchantment card from your library. No mana gain, but you just get to grab it. Okay, so it's
Mm,
a card advantage. That's solid. The body's not very big at a 3/5, but she's not easily removed by like 2/3 or 4 damage.
mm,
Activate 2, so you're going to get 2 activation gems on your next turn when she comes if she stays. If you control a room card, your creatures get +X/+X. So you have to control the room card, or else this doesn't work. It just does nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then X is the number of support cards you control, including the reinforcements. That part is a good enough payoff for me that I think if you
Mm.
built around this could be a functional card, because then she gets bigger. She becomes a threat
Yeah.
that it's filling. So I think it's a really good nuance card you can build around. I don't think it's a chase card, but I think this is one of those cards that people
Mm-hmm.
would have fun building and playing with if that's their niche
Yeah.
style. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I've played around with it a little bit. Fetching like a ley line of the guild pack with it when you enter the battlefield is cool when that
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
The activate too, it's surprising me sometimes when my creatures suddenly get like a +20 buff on them. So
Mm-hmm.
there is potential for it to be pretty strong, but it's very unreliable in that regard. You have to be able to hit that activate too often, and if you're building for that, you're probably able to build better stuff around that instead.
The only
So
trick that I would want to test with this that I obviously haven't yet is this is on the board. I'm reinforcing it. I'm drawing Leyline as my only enchantment. Right? Well, I have to have a room
yeah.
though too, don't I? So it'd have to be at
Oh
least
yeah.
one room.
Mm.
Actually, you could. There's one of the rooms that fetches another room, so you
Oh
could
yeah.
thin out the top of your
Elevator
deck.
or
Yeah,
something.
you could
Yeah.
thin out the top of your deck for rooms, so that way you're pretty much ensuring that Leyline's your next
Mm.
draw. Leyline comes in a
Yeah.
hand, you have at least 6 cards in hand, or
Yeah.
4 cards in hand. It's triggering the activate, then it's doing the buff. So that would be kind
Yeah.
of
Well,
my
it's not bad.
focus for it. That's still pretty janky. That's still
Right. It is. Yeah.
pretty janky. And it may be unreliable, and I'd have to test it to see if it works or not. But as it is right now, that's just a little too cute for me. So no, not a
I could
chase card.
see like Kilroy or somebody trying to build something
Yeah,
janky
yeah,
with it.
yeah. I'm sure that would be. And again, that's one of those cards like, oh, it's so much fun to do the blah blah. Yeah, I see the potential there. Not my favorite play style, and
Hmm.
for fun, not in tournament play, because I don't think it's consistent enough. But if it turned out to be consistent enough, if you can get that to, I don't want to say loop, but at least be synergized enough, synergy. If you could get the synergy just right, I think that would be a lot of fun.
Hmm.
All right,
Sure.
Overlord of the Baelmerk, 18 mana, 6/6 enchantment avatar horror. Black. When this creature enters the battlefield or attacks, destroy the top 4 cards of your library. Then return the first non-avatar creature or Vanguard support card from your graveyard to your hand. I don't want it in my hand. I want it on the board. Archpriest is better.
Right.
At the beginning of your turn, convert 2 gems to black. There's that. If it were 3 gems to black, I think it would be worth playing just for the conversion. But if at 2, not enough. Thoughts?
Mm. This card, actually, Nalthazar showed me the potential for this one.
Yeah?
What's? Oh, that's a nice.
That's a
That's an
gorgeous
interesting.
alt art. I love that, man. That is gorgeous.
So this card is a good combo piece in the whole Master of Keys Redress Fate thing,
Mm-hmm.
because every time this is entering the battlefield, you're destroying your library. So they just all feed off of each other. You get this Master Keys, Redress Fate somehow, you get it back into your hand, and you're just off to the races, just creating tons of things into your graveyard. So that's really its only good function for me so far. Converting the 2 gems to black is whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
but
less.
yeah, it's really just about destroying your library on ETB, which is a pretty good effect right now in standard.
Okay. All right, cool. There you go, guys. I haven't played with it, so he would know better. This one I think is chase worthy just because of the Everwar tokens, but I have not played it yet. Overlord of the
Yeah, this card,
Hauntwoods.
you do have it. Okay, yeah, that I'll show you the deck, the green deck. This slots right into it very
Okay.
well. I've done some really fun stuff with this card.
It's really
Oh,
about
but
these
you don't
treasure
have
ward
6
tokens.
yet. You don't have the creature 6 yet, do you? Oh,
No,
okay.
no, not
Then
yet.
it's not as good. Those two, this one and 6 go together so well.
So my
So
thinking with this is these are land cards. I would think that
mhm.
anything that destroys gems on the board, what color is this? This is green. If you go green red, you could use Dragonhawk.
Mhm.
And I think that would do a thing that would actually destroy enough gems on the board that when these ones are matched, at the end of your turn, convert 2 gems to the most present. Oh, but that's the thing. You don't want to destroy these. You want these to stay on board.
Right. I was gonna say, what are you destroying them for?
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe you
yeah.
had some
I
idea
forgot.
in your head.
Yeah, I thought if
Okay.
you destroyed them, they did the thing. And that's actually my biggest challenge with this is they have one shield. They have one shield
Yeah.
on them, and they break so easy. It's like
Hmm.
That ain't it for me. And that if they had two shield, I'd be fine with it. But one shield, it's so fragile, so fragile.
Yeah. This is a
Yeah,
very niche card. I didn't like it at first until I paired it with 6. So it's I don't think it's a chase card if you need it need another card to make it work. But I don't know.
yeah. There
I
you
s-
go.
I'm kind of contradicting myself because I kind of said the same thing about the Bale Merc one,
Well, there's
the
some cards
black
that when
one.
you do
But
pair them and they're two card combos, like we have inside the Discord server, you guys can jump in there and let us know what your two card combos are. Plug, plug, plug.
yeah,
Um,
that's true.
that they are so powerful, like Satoru and Judith. Like that's just
Hmm.
chef's kiss. That's a combo. Like,
True.
how do you play anything with Satoru but Judith? And how do you run Judith without Satoru? It's like it's dumb. Run them together; they work. Just go build around them, and then play whatever you
For
want on
sure.
top of that. So I think that's viable. But when it's too difficult to combo or it's too janky, and you need a third. That's when you start to lose me. But Rip
Mm,
Spawn, Hunter, 18 mana, Survival. You may pick two of the first four creature and vehicle cards from your. This is not a chase. If you fetch cards, you put the others in the bottom of your library. If you do fetch each. So actually, this has potential. I know some people are going to play with this. It's actually white too.
hmm.
That's the thing I missed. So fetch. So you survival. So it attacks. It doesn't die. You
Hmm.
may pick two of the first four creature or vehicle cards from your library. If you do, fetch those cards and put the others in the bottom of your library. If you don't, each creature or vehicle card in hand gains full mana, then destroy this card. I think that because then it's after the fact, after it's attacked, so it's okay. It's
Hmm.
done its combat. You're not losing it. It needs haste, right? You got to give this thing haste somehow. And I think
Mm,
with it's green, so you can
true.
run Tyvar support Vanguard, so it has
Yeah.
haste. And then I think this is a chase card. I think it's a breakable card, in fact. But I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, it's a pretty good card. I know people have. I know there are a lot of fans of this card already.
Mm-hmm.
Couple in the Discord, and I played with it a little bit. The nice thing is you get that choice of whether you want to destroy this creature or not.
Right.
So if you play this, if you're able to keep it around for enough turns, you fill your hand with creatures and then destroy it, and then they all get full mana.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fun. Um, this
And
definitely.
it's limited enough that you'll have a full handful of mana, but you also get to cast those
Mhm.
cards the next turn. The only downside to this is I have enough ways of filling all my cards in hand anyways with green conversion that
Mm,
do I need
right.
this, right? So that's why I looked at it. If it were
Yeah.
just green, I would think it's less chase, but because it's white too, okay, let's
Oh,
make
yeah.
white as effective as green. We can run mono white with this. What does that do?
That's
Phyrex,
true.
a
Oh,
fistful
that's a
of
good
Phyrexian
idea.
Vindicators? Oh, hell. Hell, that's hard. And or like white red. So you fistful of
Sure.
Vindicators. You get Vindicators on the board, and then you go Pyroclasm.
Oh, shit. I like
Right?
that.
Yeah, that's what
There
I'm
you
talking
go.
about. So there's that kind of stuff where it's like, all right, I see the synergy in it, and I think that there's ways that you can do some fun stuff with it. But
Yeah, for sure. Plus, this is good for creature casting objectives, too.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
always
yeah,
relevant.
yeah, that's really good. We're skipping those. Nico, Light of Hope, not a chase card unless you have opinions otherwise.
This is another card that's good to pair with Sarah's Sanctum. That's pretty much the only time I use this card. I like this card. I liked it more than I thought I would.
Really?
That activate too. If you're if you're because it's basically your blink, or what is it called? Blinking the card when
Oh
you
yeah, 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 yeah.
uh
And it brings back with
like
permanent reinforcements, and
yeah,
its
yeah.
spell
So
text is X number
I
short.
paired
Gotcha.
this with like master keys and stuff like that that have good ETBs. Oh yeah, also with phenomenon investigators, pretty good with that.
Ooh, good call. I didn't think of that.
And then it gets a
God, I just
buff,
wish it
but the
wasn't a
only problem is
creature.
you lose that buff every time you
Yeah,
activate it. So
right.
this card is better than I thought it was when I first got it.
Chase?
It's like on the border for me.
Yeah.
It can be really good, but you really have to build for it.
I think it's too early for us to look at it and say absolutely, and here's why until we find the build it goes into. For example, like Vance is a chase card in a specific build, right? If you don't have the
Hmm.
rest of the cards,
Yeah.
not as effective. This could be one of
Yeah, I
those.
have
It's like,
specific builds where this is a good card, but
right,
it's not going to be good in every deck for
right,
sure.
right. There you go. And I don't like that art. I think that art's lame.
That one's kind of weird.
Nico Bolas,
Yeah.
Ride of the Moth. I'm just gonna say
Love
right now
this
because
card.
this is such a great card. It's better than I thought it was. Archpriest of
Yeah.
the Druid, Archpriest. What is it? Archpriest of the whatever Druid.
Shadows. Yeah.
Archpriest of the Shadows. Um, is her only drawback is the creature that's attacking has to have Death Touch, and there's very limited
Hmm.
creatures that have Death Touch that are great outside of Atraxa Grand Unifier.
Yeah.
Atraxa Grand Unifier is wow, such a great card. I really wish they didn't nerf her because it would be
I know.
phenomenal. She's so good. This fixes that because it gives that you know what my biggest this fixes this because you pick 2 of the 4 creatures in your yard, put those cards into play under your control. You get balloons. You get balloons.
It's because you.
Thumbed up or whatever,
Can I
right?
do that?
Oh,
Yeah.
you have a Mac too? But then in
No,
addition
I
to that,
don't.
those cards get Death Touch and Lifelink and Finality. And that matters.
Hmm.
That lifelink matters in mono black right
Oh
now
yeah.
because
Hmm.
especially if you're playing like Lil X or even Grist. Grist doesn't have a lot of life gain outside of Back in Town has some lifelink, but you usually don't get it because you kill them before you get the life gain, right? Because you have too
Mm.
much power on the board. It's too fast, right? You played my fast Grist deck, yeah? You win too
Oh yeah.
quick. It's too fast. This one lets you get that life back, and the finality is a non-factor. Doesn't matter. The
Yeah.
only complaint I have about this card, I never take 2 creatures. I only ever take 1 because I also run Breach the Multiverse, and I'm so used to just
Oh
picking 1
yeah.
that I forget to take my
I've done
2.
that so many times too. I
So
know
annoying.
exactly what you mean.
And I hate it. I'm like, damn it, I didn't take my second creature. So I run this with Archpriest of Shadows. I run
Hmm.
Gitrog that doesn't have
Oh, okay.
Death Touch, and
Hmm.
I run Atraxa who does. So I'm able to pull Gitrog out, give it permanent Death Touch, so I don't have to keep casting other or bringing out other Archpriests of Shadows to give the Death Touch because she gives Death Touch for a turn till end of turn. And anyways, love this card. And it has
Yeah.
buried, so you get to cast it twice. And the buried's cheaper than the actual
It
casting cost
is.
itself.
Yeah.
It's such a
I love
great
when it
card.
surprises me with
Yeah.
the with
It's like,
one at
oh,
the end of
more did you
yeah.
give me?
Yeah.
Okay. For
And I
me.
don't know if you touched on this, but it's also dual color. It's got
Yeah.
white in it too. So I've been using it with Elspeth, the new one,
Yeah.
because it's destroying library. Or yeah, so awesome card.
Yeah.
Love it.
Support.
One of my
So
favorite cards
we
in this
had
set.
a creature reanimator. Now we have permanent reanimating stuff. Or I should say support reanimating stuff now that can be tribal. Like you do that kindred. I don't like saying kindred. It always sounds like I'm saying kinder, which is not a good thing. um, but it allows you to focus on kindred, so you can actually make that like a deck theme and stuff. You can bring it back with like the overflow one that brings all your supports and enchantments from the yard too, and that's white.
Mm.
So that plays with this really well. Anyways, I think this is a phenomenal card. Absolutely a chase card. Once you get it, you'll love it. I think it's fantastic. Funeral Room, I think, is a chase card strictly for the
Hmm.
backside. When the support enters the board, return each
Yeah.
creature card from
It's
your
all
graveyard
about
to the
this
battlefield under your
side.
control. It's all about that backside. You know what I'm saying? And it's fairly costed. It's only 20. It's 5 more loyalty or 5 more mana, so you can flip it in hand and cast it for 20. Or if you
Hmm.
can unlock it somehow from the board, you get that effect too.
Right.
And so it does double duty. I think this is a really phenomenal card. And furthermore, it's a permanent. So Arc Priest of Shadows allows you to do it again. So if I'm running
Yeah. The only thing
like
about that is I think it just puts it back into play in the funeral room side. So you still need to flip it with mana
yeah,
in your hand if you
yeah,
pull it from the graveyard.
yeah.
That's the only drawback I've really found with it. But yeah, this is a good card. I think I prefer Ride of the Moth over it because most of the time I just need that quick hit of
If you're running
creatures.
Reanimator from your yard, you're already pulling so many creatures out. It's not like you have this
Yeah,
massive. And again, for that effect, Back in Town is the better one because it's bringing, although it's
I would
limited
agree.
to outlaws, it's still doing the collective damage then to the opponent, and that's your win con. So
Yeah.
yeah,
This is still a great card. I still use it a lot, but I actually think Ride of the Moth and those other cards are better.
yeah,
But
I
this is
agree.
a great card.
This is a
It's
great card.
definitely chase worthy.
Yeah. Overlord of the Flood Pits, 15. When this creature enters the battlefield or attacks, discard a card, draw 2 cards, and those gain half their mana rounded down. Chimley is better, in my opinion, because it doesn't take up a creature spot. So not Chase for me. Chase for you?
It's not necessarily for me, but Nalthazar has a killer combo with it that he's gonna do a video on, so I'll let him take
I'm going
that
to
one
predict
away.
right now it sucks. You guys go watch this video and you tell him I said that. Screaming Nemesis. I don't have this card. I want it. I think it's a chase card. 15 mana, haste, 3/3 spirit. When this creature is dealt damage, deal X damage to target creature or planeswalker. X is the damage dealt to this creature. When your opponent gains life,
Okay.
deal Y damage to your opponent's planeswalker. Y is equal to the amount of life that player gained, and not a one-time effect.
I didn't even. Yeah, I'm so used to the one time per turn that I just assumed that's how
Right.
it went. When your opponent gains live. Okay, so that's good. I don't think I have this card, or maybe I have and I haven't played it yet. I've honestly kind of overlooked it, so I don't have a lot to say about it.
I just need to find ways. You guys need to chat and let me know in Discord and
Oh, you
here.
could pair it with that spell that we're talking about, the
Right.
masterpiece.
Right.
Do
So
an
that
extra
they gain the
20
life. The
damage.
problem with the other one is it's till end of turn they can't gain any more life, right? So I'm looking for
Yeah.
spells that gain target player gains life. And I think there's a white spell that gains 5 life and then you draw a card. I
Mm.
forget what it is. I think it's a common. I think it's an Origins card. But anyways,
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
Yeah.
So a bunch of stuff that way, and then this is just an auto include against Pajani, because that would just be
Mm.
hilarious to watch him gain all his life till he dies. That's great. That is great.
So I'm thinking, like, what if you were to fateful hand off a creature that gains you life? Maybe that's a way to do
Oh,
some
that's a great
janky
call.
combo.
Yeah, and then bridge so that none of the creatures can attack.
There you go.
And they're just gaining life and dying. Anyways, I think that's great. I don't know if it's a chase card because I don't have it. I haven't played with it. It's janky. It's super. This is exactly my wheelhouse of fun, like total chess style
Yeah,
jank.
for sure.
But I don't know
That
how much of it we can do.
very,
So,
very much jank.
the Wandering Rescuer, 15 mana, not a chase card for me. Is this a chase card for you? I think it's okay.
It's okay. It's not a chase card, but it's similar to what's the one, experimental room, the one that we're talking about. It's like it's pretty good if you're
Right.
new to the game. Which actually coincidentally, those two cards actually really go well together. This
Mm,
one and Wandering Rescuer has been like my favorite thing to pair with it because it's got double strike. So if you're hitting, so every time you get that plus, every time it does damage, you're getting that +4/+4 on it. So you can grow this card pretty quickly with it,
mm,
and it gains vigilance too, so it can become a good blocker. It's got
right.
flying and double strike. So if it has vigilance on it and you're buffing it up with the experimental room, it's actually pretty decent little creature.
You know what I missed on this too? The Convoke. So if you get 10 creature tokens or whatever,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
basically just cost 5. So it's a 5
No, that's
call.
not bad.
This is and it's an exclusive. So there you go.
It is an exclusive.
I'm gonna have to try playing with this. I see more advantage to it. This is Webcore in its nutshell. Just so much nuance to it. It's just like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense. Like, oh, it
Right,
doesn't
right.
look that impressive until you start playing with it. And there's times they'll even tell us in like we have a communication with them. They'll be kind of like, why don't you just try it before you comment on it? Did you play with it at least?
Yeah.
Like, no, it just looks dumb. Why don't you just play with it and see? And then you come back later on like, yeah,
That
it's
is true.
fine. It's pretty good. So maybe that's better than I'm giving it credit for. Undead Sprinter, not a chase card. Your thoughts?
I haven't really played with it that much. I've seen it played in a few decks before. Maybe other people have better ideas for it than I do. I just haven't really seen um the strength of this card yet.
No, I haven't, and I
You
don't like
cast a
this.
creature card from your graveyard. Yeah.
Then it gets
The
haste.
problem is there isn't a lot of ways to cast your cards from the creatures from the graveyard unless you're playing like a spell or funeral room or
Well,
something, which
this one
does
does. At the beginning
negates
of your
that.
turn, each creature card in your hand without flashback and buried 6 and gain buried 6 and flashback. So that when they go
Yeah,
to the
but that means
yard.
they have to go to the graveyard first
I
before
think they
you
meant
get.
this for Angrith with his first ability to push stuff in the yard.
Oh. Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. We'll see. Maybe that's a play. Maybe that'll be featured in my video. Who knows? You guys have to stick around and find out.
See.
Valgavoth's Lair, 15 mana for this exclusive enchantment land. At the beginning of it's an enchantment land. I like that. At the beginning of your turn, convert 6 gems to
Hmm.
the least present color on the board, then manifest dread. So the advantage on this one is the manifest dread. You get a creature token, so you can just summon objectives are easier to achieve. Uh, I don't like that it's least present color. Because then that means that
Yeah.
you're probably not going to get a match out of it. It doesn't cascade. It doesn't do the thing you want it to.
Right.
And if it's outside of my wheelhouse of colors, that doesn't help. It might though. I remember I was grumbling earlier about, oh, there's not enough black or red gems. Maybe this is the fix for that, right? Maybe that helps with that. I don't know. Not a chase card,
Yeah,
but it is. What do you think?
the only times I've played with it, it's never converted the thing I wanted to
Yeah.
convert to. So that's
Easier,
annoying in
better
that
cards
regard. I mean,
to
if
go.
you're playing with like Karn or something, maybe it doesn't matter as much. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, I don't know. It's a weird card. It just doesn't do a lot for me.
All right, we're almost done. I promise you guys. Walk-in
This
closet,
card,
15
I do
mana.
like this
You
card.
do like this card? I'll let you talk about it. I don't have it, so I don't know if you
Yeah,
do.
walk-in closet. So when the support enters the board, this is what I like about it. When the support enters the board, return all land cards from your graveyard to your hand. Those cards gain full mana. So I'm pairing this with Blossoming Tortoise, 6, anything like that that's putting a bunch of land cards. And 6 is a land creature.
Oh,
So you can get
nice.
those for free too. So this is really good for basically like how Funeral Room was this for black. This is kind of like the green version of it for it. So I've been mostly using it for that, grabbing Sunken Citadels and 6s out of the graveyard. And yeah, this is a really cool card in the right deck. I actually haven't used the unlocked part of this card, and I probably should more. When this card
And they're
gains the
equal.
unlocked emblem,
Note that it's
uh
equal on both sides, so it costs the exact same amount.
oh, interesting. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
But yeah, convert X gems to your planeswalkers' colors. X is the number of land cards you control, including their reinforcements. So when you're looping, though, you don't get a chance to flip it around in your hand. So
Which was I
that's
was
probably
gonna
why I've
say.
never used
I,
it.
I
But
think that the front side is the best side,
mhm,
so it triggers in loops. But when you need to on the
yeah,
back side, it means you've already done the things. You've got the lands in there. Great, go ahead and
yeah,
do it.
for sure.
I'm very curious to play with this card. I don't have it yet. I think it is a chase card now that I'm rereading it. I have a lot of ideas of what I would do with it, and it sounds like you've already built one. So chase.
For me, it is.
Okay. There you go. Charred Foyer. I think this is a chase card at the beginning
Oh,
of your
this is
turn.
a good
Exile the
card.
first card from your library. Then, if you have more mana than half that card's cost in your hand, fetch that card. It gains X mana. It does not drain the mana from your hand. So you get a card with full mana that has like 30 mana. Mute it down. Put it at the top of your hand. Free cards for this.
Mm.
Period. Everything else gets cast for free for that. Secondary. When you exile another card when it's unlocked, or if you play the flip side, which is only 6 more mana, when you exile another card from your hand for the first time during your turn, put that card into play under your control instead. So, free
So
card from just the start of your turn, and a free card for the first exile out of hand. Yes, please. Great card. I think
yeah,
this is a chase card.
no, this is an awesome card. I wish it had more shields, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, it's pretty thin. Pretty thin. And it's funny that I don't have it, or do I have? Oh, I do have it. Did you see that the XP disappeared? Oh,
Uh, I
balls.
saw that it had XP on it.
Yeah, but
Or
it did. It wasn't showing there for a second. Did I miss? That's right
oh,
there.
weird.
Yeah, when I flipped
I
it,
can see
it went
your
away.
XP
Right
bar. I can't see how much
now,
XP
I
it
come
has
back
on
to the
it though.
front. That's why it's
Oh,
gone. Isn't that funny?
oh, okay.
That's
That's
funny.
weird.
But if I move it a bit and come back to it, it comes back. Anyways, I digress.
How strange.
So yeah,
Okay.
I think chase card. Thought?
Yeah. I didn't even think to do that with the front side of it. I like 90% play it with the warped room side. So the unlocked one. Because it's just like it's like what's it called? Connecting the dots, but better.
Yeah, because it
And that
pulls from
card
your
is already
library, right?
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. And the only downside of connecting dots is you got to feed the exile. And there's a lot of ways to do that, so it's not a
Hmm.
downside. But
Right.
maybe in the future it becomes less effective. I don't see that happening. There's so much exile effects right now that go into your exile. It's great.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, this is just another way to do it. Pair the two because they're both red, right?
Exactly.
Throw
Yeah.
this into exile,
Yeah,
get
you
it
compare
back.
connecting the dots. Actually, yeah, if you flip this to the unlock side and then put it into your
Exile.
exile, connecting the dots will bring it back the warp
Does it?
space
Oh, that's
side.
great to
Yeah,
know. Wow, what a hack.
yeah.
You guys get that?
I know. It's awesome.
Wow, that's great. All right, roller crusher. So Chase, we both think this is Chase. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
Roller Crusher Ride, 14 mana. It's an exclusive support card enchantment at the beginning of your opponent's turn. Deal X damage to your opponent's planeswalker. X is equal to the number of creatures your opponent controls, including the reinforcements. So immediately I don't have to do anything. I just use Ensnaring Bridge and let them cast whatever creature. Don't just let them do whatever they want
Mm,
to. Just do the thing, and then eventually it'll deal
that's
enough damage to them
interesting.
they'll lose.
Yeah.
Or play stuff that reinforces their creatures and gives them creatures and lets those spawn up or whatever it is. But if you do
Mm-hmm.
Delirium, which is a dumb rule, X is equal to the number of creatures your opponent controls, including the reinforcements, times 2 instead. So good luck with that. Not a chase card, but I think it could have some functionality. I think even if it says less than 3
I
mana, it's
gotta
good.
sit there and play with this card a bit more and figure it out because I haven't done anything with
I
it
haven't
yet. I haven't
tested it at
touched it.
all. Yeah. But Ensnaring Bridge is what I think. Swarm Weaver, 14 mana, black green, 2/3, artifact Scarecrow. When this creature enters the battlefield, create 4 Golgari insect tokens. At the beginning of your turn, your insect and spider creatures get +1/+1. Then each creature you control gains Death Touch until the beginning of your next turn. Create 4 Golgari tokens. At the beginning of your turn, your insect spider. Okay, so it's at the beginning of your turn. And then that goes up to the beginning of your next turn. So just give him permanent death. Why do you have to go stop it?
Yeah,
It doesn't make
yeah,
any
that's
sense.
annoying.
Until the beginning of your next turn. Delirium, black and green, black or green. Your insects and spider creatures get +3/+2 instead. At least with that Delirium, there's an odd that it's going to happen, but one of them's green, so it's never going to happen. It's only black. Maybe
Hmm.
black triggers. I don't know, and you get +3/+2 instead. Not a chase card, but I think it has some potential to be shenanigany. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely found a very janky combo to to do something with this card. Um,
If you guys want
it
to see that
is
combo, because we're running out of time, get into the Discord and ask Mean about it so he can put it out there for you
yeah.
guys.
Actually, I think I actually might have showcased it in my live stream from, was it Monday or
Oh,
Tuesday that I
nice.
did it? So if you
Cool.
want to find out what I'm talking about,
Go check it
you
out.
can go in there.
There's a full art version of it too if you don't want to spend whatever. This is
True.
show me, show me, show me how you do that trick.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me think she's sick. War. This is a winter misanthropic guide. I'm so challenged. It's an emo kid from the 90s. God, we used to torture those guys. Sorry if you were an emo kid from the 90s. I'm sorry. 14 mana. I was one of them. 14 mana legendary ward. Yeah, ward 3/4, 3-color human warlock. So he counts for outlaw. Ward, drain 3 mana from
Hmm.
your hand at the beginning of your turn. That's for the opponent. At the beginning of your turn, each player draws 2 cards, and those cards gain 1 mana. I didn't think this card was great until I reread the second part. Oh, it's only on Delirium, is it?
It's
Red or
delirium though.
green? Never mind. Each card in your hand gains 3 mana. Is that where Delirium ends, or because it's a period? And then at the
I
end of
think
your
so.
player's turn, destroy all cards without mana in each player's hand.
Yeah, because it works. I've played this card a little bit, and it does work even without delirium. That it
Okay.
will destroy the
Then the
cards without
delirium
mana.
needs to be at the end. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
That
I
doesn't make any
agree.
sense. That last sentence makes it hand hate playable.
True.
So, and that's a playstyle right now that works. I played against Opper Stomper when he was in my PvE. What's up, Oppie? He was in my Discord for a weekend, or he was in my coalition for a weekend, I should say. So we wound up playing, and I played a couple matches against him, and he has just enough hand hate in there that it's very disruptive. It was
Mm.
so disruptive I couldn't get anything going. It was super
Oh,
controlling.
wow.
He took forever to win on the back end, but it was still enough that he didn't need to worry about it. It was really neat to see. So it reminded me that hand hate was good. The last time I played hand hate was with Professor Onyx when
Oh, okay.
when
Yeah, she's good at that.
with the god tokens were in play, and I got to take their stuff. Steal Your Girl, the original Steal Your Girl that I spotlighted way back when.
Yeah,
This makes
Turgrid's
that
Lantern.
viable again for hand hate and control, and I think that's solid because it's at the end of your turn, so it's before they do anything. They're top decking, and that's all they get.
Yeah, but each player draws 2 cards, and those cards gain 1 mana. So
At the beginning of
it's
your turn. Oh, I see what you're
yeah,
saying. You're right. So they're still gonna get to keep 2 cards.
yeah.
Okay. Well, then you could go really janky and go in mana removal. Never mind. Not Chase. Let's play a game. 12 mana, spell card.
I just thought of something very janky you could do with it, which is it's legacy though.
Yeah.
With Lavinia, because she drains your opponent's hand whenever they gain mana. So
Right.
you could do that, but that's, if we're talking legacy, there's so many better
There's
things you could
everything's
do.
broken in Legacy. Like
Yeah.
every Fibblethip is broken in Legacy. There's nothing that can't be played. Let's play a game. 12 mana, black spell card. All opposing creatures get -X/-X. Don't like it already. Each player discards the last X cards from their hand. It impacts you. You gain X life. Then your opponent loses X life. X is the number of legendary creatures you control, including the reinforcements. All of that is dumb. Delirium. X is the number of black gems you match to this turn. So 5, 3,
Yeah.
6. Ooh. Dumb card, not
Right.
Chase. Thoughts?
Yeah, it reminds me of what's that old spell from like Hour of Devastation? It's like a Nicole Bolas on the picture, and it's like very dependent on like what things you've done on that turn, and it never was as strong as you ever wanted it. I don't know if you
Mm.
know what card I'm talking about, but it
I
reminds
know
me a lot of that.
I know the card. I don't know the name. I
Yeah.
remember just like this is dumb and moving on. That was before I really plugged into Discord too. So I was like, oh,
Oh,
this is
okay,
dumb, and I
yeah.
mastered it and never bothered with it again. Not intentionally, not
Right.
strategically. Just thought it was a dumb card. Mirror Room, 12 mana support card. So I'll cut to the chase on this one. This is a Virtue of Knowledge
Yeah,
card,
but like a worse version of
but
it.
a worse version of it. Yeah, this is a poor man's Virtue of Knowledge. If it were
Yeah.
something else other than Virtue, if it didn't give the Knowledge emblem, it would be good. You could use them in tandem. It would give it some functionality.
Yeah, exactly.
The only side that works is this one, which is when you cast a creature card if it doesn't have the Knowledge emblem. Any other
Hmm.
emblem, if it didn't have the Fractured emblem or whatever, it would
Yeah,
make it playable because then you're tripling up your casting of your cards. It's not,
exactly.
or even more than that, but it's not. Since it's using the Knowledge emblem, it literally is less than adding to. So I tried playing it in a couple decks, and you can see here that I have a little experience on it. I played it enough to know it's not a good card, not Chase in my opinion. If you pull it and
Yeah.
you don't have Virtue of Knowledge, it's a great card. But if you have Virtue of Knowledge, you'll never run this card. Thought?
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
Hauntwood's Shrieker, 10 mana green, 3/3 beast mutant. When this creature attacks, manifest dread. When a creature dies for the first time during your turn, if that creature is named Fright, all cards in your hand gain 4 mana. Not a chase
Hmm.
for me. When a creature dies for the first time, there you go. That's all I needed
They
to know. Moving
you
on.
could have we could have had some
Could have
shenanigans,
had some
but
shenanigans. I just want some shenanigans. As it is, even if it didn't have that, it would not be overly shenanigany. It would be
right.
okay because you have to
It'd be
keep killing your
fine.
stuff, so your whole
Yeah,
thing has to be really
exactly.
strong. So it's self-limiting. But no,
Hmm.
the first per turn, dumb. Restricted off is 10 mana, white, 2 shield, and it's got a flippy flip. When the support enters the board, destroy all
I like
creatures
the
with power
flippy
3 or
flip.
more. Unlocked at the beginning of your turn, creatures you control gain hexproof and lifelink. I would play this only on this side, Lecture Hall. At the beginning of your turn, creatures
Yeah.
you control gain hexproof and lifelink until the beginning of your next turn. It's a blue card, and it gives your creatures hexproof and lifelink. I think that's phenomenal. That side is phenomenal. The
Hmm.
danger of casting this when this support enters the board,
Yep.
destroy all creatures with power 3 or more.
And you know how many times I've done this on accident?
More than
Too
I
many
care
to
to
count.
acknowledge. I haven't even done it, and
Yeah.
I've already done it. I don't even own this
Yeah,
card. I've already
exactly.
destroyed all my creatures.
Exactly.
I haven't even played this card, and I've already destroyed all my creatures. No, no, it's not a chase
Uh-huh.
card for that alone. Although that second side is so sweet. If it said base power 3 or
Mm,
more, that would be fine,
yeah.
because then I could weenie it up. No. Tyvar the
Hmm.
Pummeler, 10 mana, exclusive 3/3 elf warrior. When this creature attacks, this creature gains shield counter 1. Then, if you have 3 or more cards in your hand with full mana, all creatures you control get +2 and 10/10 until end of turn. I think that's janky, and I kind of like it.
I honestly haven't played with this card. I barely even read it. If you have 3 or more cards in your hand with full mana, all creatures you control get. Okay. I could see myself using what do you call it? What's his face? Felix with this guy, because you're gonna have, if you have three
Right.
creatures attacking, that means you're
Right.
gonna always have 3 creatures or cards in your hand with full mana.
Yeah, and then you just mute them down, or you just take low casting cost off and you like cast 3 or whatever, cost 3, mute them down. You got it, no big
That's
deal, you're
true.
done. Right. Plus, this would work really well with overflow stuff because you're going to be muting
Oh, but it's
stuff
got
down.
bravery. That's annoying.
Yeah, I know bravery's so
Uh,
annoying, isn't it? Um, whatever. All right, whatever. There's a alt version of you guys want. That art is
well, that's
pretty
kind of
dope.
cool.
That's dope.
Yeah,
I
I
like
actually
that.
like that.
Pretty good. Dollmaker Shop. I've tried to read this thing several times. It's so confusing to me. Not Chase.
Token players like this card. I haven't done. I don't know if I own it yet.
Yeah, and
Um,
they're playing with tokens, so how can you trust them? They have no taste.
I mean, I play
They have no
with tokens way more
morality.
than you do. I think.
They have no love of humanity. No, no, not Chase. Uh, Anyways, moving on. Abhorrent Oculus. At the beginning of your turn, you may
Definitely
exile the
not a
first card
chase.
from your graveyard. If you do, manifest right now. Not. It's a too limited for a mythic. It's a cheap. It's 7 for a 5/5 with flying. That's cool.
Which is fine, I guess.
Master and
But
Forget, but I would never really play it.
yeah, I
Unless
mean, in
somehow
today's
Manifest
meta,
Dread
who's
became
using
5.
that?
Yeah, no, not a go for me. All right, real quickly through the rares. I'm just gonna pick out what I think are Meat Hook Massacre. I think is Chase. Cursed Recording could be Chase.
I
Unstoppable
like it.
Slasher, Chase. Absolute Chase card. Absolute Chase card. If you don't have it, get it. It's
Oh,
so
that's
much
a
fun.
sweet alt art. I
Yeah,
might
I
have to
know
pick
that
up
alt
that
art is
alt
great,
art.
isn't it? Look at that. It's choice. Get
That's
it, guys.
awesome.
It's good. What else that I think is
I mean,
Chase?
I use Nashi. I'm sure you don't.
No, I don't like Nashi. You think it's Chase?
Not Chase, but it is a good card.
Come back wrong. Good. Now that it's
I
fixed,
like it.
it's
This
great.
card's cool,
It's a great card.
especially since they fixed it.
Yeah, yeah.
Stay hidden, stay silent. Very good.
I don't even have that. Look at that. When this support enters the board, the first opposing creature is disabled. Then manifest dread.
Untargeted sleep with the fishes,
Oh
basically.
yeah. It only attacks the first guy, but
Yeah, that's the only thing about it. Sometimes you want to get more than that, but it's one of the issues with sleep with the fishes that you had to target something. So
true.
this is at least an alternate version
Well,
of
and
that.
who's in first position? Phyrexian Vindicator. It's usually the one you want to get anyways. So
True.
and
It's also an enchantment aura, so Agatha can fetch it.
Danitha gets Aegis. If you don't have Aegis, you can go with this.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Danitha
If you don't have Aegis yet, you can.
Or Kidnap. Aegis Kidnap. So this is third.
There you go.
Disabler. So there you go.
Fair.
So that's cool. I like that card. I think Commune with Evil is really good. If you have it fills your yard, gain mana,
Yeah,
and then you gain life.
I played this a little bit.
It's a good solid little card. Is it chase worthy? I don't think so, but if you pull it, there's some fun shenanigans.
Yeah,
you can
I
do
agree.
with it.
I wouldn't say it's chase.
This one is the chase card for me. At the beginning of your turn, Leyline of Mutation, 12 mana, it's green, enchantment. At the beginning of your turn, if you have 15 or more loyalty, a random card in your hand gains full mana.
Interesting.
Now, Overflow. If you have 10 or more loyalty, a random card in your hand gains full mana.
That's pretty good. I can't say I don't think I own this card actually, so maybe I've overlooked this one.
I don't have it yet. So one of my
it's one of those rares that's gonna take.
I do like the Leyline of Resonance, but the Overflow impact isn't as strong as I'd like it to be. I wish it was the same as the green
Oh, is
one.
it?
It's the last spell card in your hand gains half of its mana. So you do a couple of them, it works, right? But you're drawing cards, so it's not going. But if you're running Satoru and Judith, it should be getting enough. It should be enough to 10 mana or half mana.
Good point.
So that it goes. So
I
like this.
Yeah, I'll have to play with that a little more. I honestly haven't done enough with it.
And then what else is chase for me in this one? I'll have my full chase list updated here later on.
Zimone, do you like Zimone? I think they fixed
Zimone's
her token.
I don't have her, so I haven't played with her, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I think she can get beefy pretty quick, but I haven't tested it, so I can't recommend it's a chase. That's why the list is an ongoing one right now, especially in rares because there's so many I'm missing. Trying to see what else I had. Razorkin is not chase. I really wish it was better than it is.
Oh, really?
It's not. Yeah, it's not. Mind Skinner. This is the last one we'll talk about. When a creature you control deals combat damage to your opponent's planeswalker, your opponent gains X life. When a creature you control deals combat damage to your opponent's planeswalker, your opponent gains X life. Remember that other creature?
I sure do.
Right? When your opponent loses life or is dealt damage, destroy the top X cards of your opponent's library. X is the damage dealt that way.
Yeah.
So I want to fill their yard and then do something with them with that filled yard. This allows me to do that. So mill 30 impacts, that kind of stuff, happens super quick. This guy's a 10-1 for 6 mana and unblockable. I love this card. I think there's so much fun we can get up to with this card.
Yeah.
I don't know that we have
definitely some jank can be done with
but I
that.
think there's some jankiness there.
Is there anything? I kind of like that Victor card because it gives white some graveyard abilities.
And it's self-contained. It's cheap. It's good. You got to trigger the Eerie. You bring the creature.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
You know the thing that I don't like about it, right? There's only one thing I don't like about it. This effect can trigger only once per turn.
Once per turn.
It's still good. It's still really good. It's cheap. It's powerful.
Yeah,
it's
for
good.
5 mana.
For 5 mana, and it's a rare. It's just right power level. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you do that with, I just think there's other cards that are stronger. You know, like Archpriest of Shadows is an immediate.
Yeah,
When she
definitely.
rotates
Way better.
out, this will be the replacement for it. It won't be as good, but it's
Yeah,
up there, right?
I
And
know.
there's a couple others I think. The only other ones, the honorable mentions I want to go after for uncommons and commons are uncommons. For me, this is the one I was telling you about earlier. I was teasing you about, and I was saying, hey, this is a great card, which is uh,
The next rotation is gonna hit me hard. I'm not gonna like it at all.
this last rotation killed me. Live or Die is great. Live or Die is a great
Oh
card.
yeah, love it.
Great, great card. Destroy their creature or bring something back from your yard. Double duty, right? We've talked about that already. And then, where are you? You're not a common card. I know you're uncommon.
Duskmourn's domination is cool. Especially right now when you're playing stuff like Grist where you don't necessarily want to destroy it. If you can
Mm-hmm.
steal it from him, that's better in my opinion.
Where is it? Dread. Um, I know. Unwanted remake.
Mm-hmm.
6 mana
Destroy target creature
flash.
in your opponent.
Destroy target creature. Okay, so flash removal. Period. Point blank. Done.
Mm-hmm.
Then
I
your
do like
opponent
this card.
manifests dread. I can target my own
Mm-hmm.
creature. So if I'm winning in an objective, it's too big. Creature's going to swing for dome. I can kill my own dude. Give him a creature
Mm-hmm.
so I can target. I don't need them to have a creature. I think
Mm.
this is better than Frog.
Yeah.
And it's in white, not blue.
And it only costs 6 too.
6
Cheap.
mana. This is a great card, man. This is going to see so much play and kill X or more opponent objectives or creature
Mm-hmm.
objectives.
Yeah, I've been using it for that for sure
It's fantastic.
lately.
It's a great card. I think this is one of the best uncommons in the set. That one,
Mm-hmm.
Live or Die, and I'm trying to think if there's any others. Oh, that's all the dread ones. And there's even a common card that I think is great. Let's see if I can find it real quick.
Oh, which one? I'm trying to
Say its name. I
remember.
think it's
Crack
gonna have some
Skull
play.
is good.
Say its name is gonna have some. That's the one I was thinking. Was Crack Skull. Crack Skull is
Oh, okay.
phenomenal for a common card. 11 mana,
Yeah.
enchantment aura. So you can fetch it with Danitha. When the support enters the board, your opponent discards 2 non-land cards without mana from hand. So you're hand hating. Great. Especially if you're able to cast this turn 1. They're ditching their 2 cards. They're starting from top deck.
Mm-hmm.
And then when a creature deals damage to you, destroy that creature, then destroy the support. So
Mm-hmm.
it only gets 1, but it does 3 things. Hand hate, well, what does it do? No, 3 things. It hand hates, 2 things. Hand hate, and then
2
it destroys
things,
a creature.
but still.
Right. And it's a permanent in black, which I can
Mm-hmm.
bring back with Archpriest. I can just keep
And it's
bleeding.
11 mana, so I use it in Colors of Magic all the time.
Great call. Yeah, great call. It's a great card. Really, really good card. Definitely one you guys want to get paying attention to when you're
Yeah,
playing
I
cards.
should use that more in non-Colors of Magic play too.
It's a great card, man.
Good one for Archpriestess Shadows to bring
For
back.
sure. For sure. All right, real quickly, how much more time you got? I know you've got to jump, so
I probably way over time here,
all right. I
but
wanted to quickly get
all
your
good.
thoughts on Angrith. Thumbs
Okay.
up, thumbs down. He's broken right now. You know what? We're gonna skip this. I'm sorry. I'm gonna veto this
Yeah, I
because
feel like I
he's
need to.
bugged and he's
Yeah, that's
broken
what I was
right now.
gonna say. I need them to fix it first before I make a good decision
Yeah.
on it. I mean,
Yeah.
so far it's a thumbs down, but
All right.
there are things I like about them, but there's a lot that I don't.
Kaito's new adjustments. Does it make him playable? We're gonna do some hot takes here.
Playable. I'm definitely still not using him for most things, but he's fine now. It's kind of cool that now when you hit that 8 loyalty, you get to choose like any of his abilities.
Mm-hmm.
It makes the second ability a little more relevant. I do like that. That's probably maybe his best ability now that's only 8 loyalty instead of
Right.
15.
Right.
Yeah, I still use ability 1 and 2. Ability 3 is still pretty crap. But other than that,
We have 3 walkers in a
he's fine.
row that feed the yard. 4. Grist,
Oh
Lil,
wow.
Lil X, Kato,
Even Archangel Elspeth does.
and Angrith.
Yeah.
And Archangel can get in just about all of those, right?
You mean the Vanguard or what
No,
are you
no.
talking?
I'm talking about the creature, Archpriest of Shadows, rather, can play in all. They're all
Oh,
black, right? They're all
I
black,
thought you
and they
said
all feed the Arc.
Archangel.
Yeah, I did say Arch. I meant Archpriest.
Oh,
Grist, Lil X,
yes.
Kaido, and Angrith, all black. So Archpriest
Yeah,
of the Shadows
yeah,
can go through
little
there.
X.
Lil
Yeah,
X. That's the
little
that's
Nas
that's
X.
the one, guys. Lil X. Little Lily Anna X. Anyways, so I haven't played. I've not touched Kaido. That's how much I hated him since they buffed him or reduced his costs. I still don't think
Uh-huh.
he's worth getting IRL cash,
Yeah,
but it makes him a lot more playable. I think that
yeah, it
Dak
does.
is 10 times, 100 times better than this guy just from his first ability.
Oh,
Did
for
you like the
sure.
trick or treat event? We're doing hot
It
takes.
was fine. It was basically just like they made Fables of Eldraine into a PV or kind of a weird uh
Yeah,
PvP format, which is whatever.
yeah.
um,
I don't like that it's
it
taking
wasn't
3 days
too
to
bugged
clear. I wish they
as
would have
far as I
done too
can
many more of
remember.
them. They would have done like 2 of them instead during the holiday season instead of just on Halloween. And then it ends 2 days
Mm.
after Halloween. It should have been prior to. But I guess they saved it for the update, so it doesn't matter. Anyways, I digress.
Oh,
Vanguards. Any of them that? What's your Vanguard that's the chasiest?
the Vanguard I've used the most is the Nicol Bolas Planeswalker one.
Okay.
I probably could use Dark Realms a little more, but it's a little expensive for what you get out of it. It's fine. Um, Other than that, the Karn Vanguard has potential for me if once they do fix it. Right now, it's super bugged and it's
Yeah.
not worth playing at all.
Right. It's got to go for it says discard when it should be exile is what I'm assuming.
It should exile, yeah,
Yeah.
but
And
also none of the cards are getting the deciphered emblem,
oh well,
so there's no point of
that's
using
not
it.
even a bug. That's just that card doesn't exist. It's stupid.
Yeah, it doesn't work at
Yeah,
all
it
right
doesn't work
now.
at all. Quality of life improvements. What do you think of the claiming your rewards now and still the ability to
I
buy?
don't understand this.
Who asked for this? Who asked?
Yeah,
Who did this? Who asked for this?
what does it benefit?
Why would I
That's
want
what
to
I don't get.
buy more packs without open? I don't get any benefit from buying and
Yeah,
hoarding packs. Oh, let
what
me
was their
do it.
reasoning? Why did they say they did it?
They said the first improvement is that now it will be possible to buy packs that you own when they become available. This way, if you'd like to acquire some new packs, you don't have to open the old ones first. Why
You
wouldn't
don't
I want
have to,
to?
but why would you?
I'm looking for 2 or 3 specific cards. I'm chasing. If I get those cards, I'm not buying more packs. What were you
Yeah,
thinking, Webcore? That was dumb. Come on, that was dumb.
made no sense to me.
Okay, next one. Changing training grounds to quick battle. We asked for quick battle. That's not what we meant,
Yeah, right.
bro. That's not it. It's
I
when you
like
say,
that they
it's when
changed it so
when you're at the
that
store with your mom. Hey, Circle, or hey, main loop. Mom, can we get these quick battles? Can we get some quick battles? We have quick battles at home. The quick battles at home. It's just
yeah,
training grounds. That's not
exactly.
it, man. That's not it. And then the big fix for
So we
here.
have the bag cereal at home already.
Yeah, that's not frosted Winnie. It's frosted mini spooners. I actually like mini
Yeah.
spooners over. I was raised ghetto. I prefer spooners over mini wheats. Thank you
Right.
very much. Molten collapse. That's the only one for me that really matters. Is that
Oh yeah.
it's
Now
fixed
we
now
can
for
finally
destroy
use it
objectives and it's good
for
and it works
objectives.
and
Yeah.
it counts. Yeah. So that was great for me. Everything else
Um,
here I didn't think was too significant. Anything else you
does
saw there?
Zimone token actually triggers when it should?
Yeah.
There were a lot of little things that were helpful. Come back wrong being fixed, live or
Right.
die being fixed.
Right. Come back wrong
Um,
beforehand wouldn't give you the option.
yeah.
Wheel of
Um,
Potential, they fixed, which I didn't want them to, which is Wheel of Potential. If you don't have it, it's a red PM2 card. So I would
mm.
cast it and it would give mana to all my cards instead of the cards that it drew.
Oh really?
Sucked, yeah. It sucks now that that's
Oh
fixed.
man.
It makes it pretty nigh unplayable now, unless you're just doing
Mm.
tribal
Oh, that sucks.
with it. Um, yeah. Nicol Bolas wasn't giving mana. Moth, is that
Oh,
what it
the
is?
Vanguard.
Yeah.
Hmm. I didn't even know that.
There was I guess a bug with Aegis that it was disabling cards. There's still I don't actually haven't played with it yet, so I have to go test it out. What Aegis was doing was if you took a creature from them, like permanently
Hmm.
possess it with like Sorin, neonate, and
Oh, uh-huh.
hungry neonate, hungry
Yeah.
baby. You took that creature from them, it stayed disabled until they put another creature on board. So you would have it. They'd have no creatures on their side, but the creature you took from them still stayed disabled. So I'm hoping
Mm.
that that was fixed because I haven't tested it yet because I haven't played with the baby, hungry baby yet. There you go. Oh, and then Hix's Prison Warden, not disabling creatures anymore, or keeping them disabled after it's destroyed. That's nice. That's the way that's supposed to
Mm.
work. All right, my friend. I know I kept you longer than I said. You gave me a certain amount of time, and I totally disavowed that and just listened to more. Is there anything else you want to talk about here before we head out?
No, we'll talk about other things some other time.
All right. Appreciate you, dude. As always, my friends, I appreciate you guys. Let's see some of the chats. Desolate Meyer's great, and all creatures not just here and it sticks and in Deneen. In Legacy handoff AOS, yeah. Play a game would be good in L9. I wish you could pick which side was up in the deck builder or flip cards. You had a mechanic that did that. You get to choose the card side as it was coming into hand. But the challenge with that one is even if you were doing mana
Mm.
gain stuff, it didn't let you it didn't let you um, give the mana to the flipped side. It only gave the mana to the top side, which sucked. So it didn't.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
and I think that's a
that's
bug.
annoying.
I think that's something they needed to
that
fix.
that sounds like a bug.
Yeah. Nobody brings it up because nobody plays with those cards. I do. I do it in my BFTA like crushing deck. But
Mm.
whatever. And that's about it. All right, guys, that's it. I appreciate you guys. I know you could be anywhere in the world. It's just been the last hour and 40 minutes with me, Maynard. As always, I appreciate you.
Damn,
Doing a
has it been
great
that
work
long
too.
that we're on?
It's been
Wow.
an hour and 40 minutes, my friend.
Oh, whoops.
Get into the Discord. I have a big announcement I'm going to be making on Monday-ish, Tuesday-ish in the Discord. It's going to involve Maynard and the rest of you guys, so hopefully you guys will appreciate that. It's actually something super cool. I'm very excited.